Hi, I'm Ashley, and not only am I an Air Force Academy graduate, but I actually worked in admissions at the United States Air Force Academy. And so, what I wanted to talk to you today is about nomination interviews and giving you a few tips and tricks to help improve your nomination interview. Now, this is the first part in a five-part series. I'm going to give a few tips and tricks in each video so that I can keep each video really short and you can kind of gain a little bit of knowledge in each video. So today we're going to talk about kind of two topics. We're going to talk about what is the interview, like how is it set up, and then also just a few tips for basic stuff. All right, so what is a nomination interview? Now, a nomination interview is very common for your congressmen and senators, and each congressman and senator can do their process differently, but essentially they're kind of the same thing. So you're going to have for the congressional or senatorial panel interviewing you, somewhere between 3 and 7 people. It's usually 3 and 5, but I've seen ones that have like 7 people. They're going to try and represent each service if they can, or get civilians who work in the area of the Air Force and Navy or Coast Guard. They're just going to try and represent people from each area. Now, the congressional interviews and senatorial interviews are not partisan, so don't worry about your politics. They are supposed to be nonpartisan. It is all about the students. They are trying to find the right and well-qualified students to go to these service academies. So don't worry about the politics. Worry about impressing and doing your best. Okay, so now I've kind of talked about the panel. They're going to ask you some questions, and the first thing is to make a great impression. So what we're going to talk about is showing up early. You're going to want to show up 20 to 30 minutes early. And maybe if you're on the 30-minute side, you can kind of hang out in the parking lot or whatever, but you don't want to be late. That is a complete no-no. It is better to be early and hang out in your car for a few minutes, but you can enter, up to 15 minutes early. And you're going to want to go in and make sure you have a copy of your resume or follow any other directions they give you. They may give you certain things you're supposed to bring, or maybe they say don't bring a resume. And if that's the case, don't. But it's always good to have one handy. You never know. Someone might need it for some reason. So just have a copy handy, be early, be on time. Okay, some of the other things is make sure to wear professional clothing. So you want to wear, females, a nice blouse, slacks, a dress, conservative. If you had something on the businessy side, or your mom or someone does have something like that that you can borrow, that would be good. But it is professional, right? Professional. You're not going to a club. You're not doing anything to look pretty, right? You are trying to look professional. So black slacks, nice blouse, that's probably fine. Nice, flats, shoes, or something that's appropriate for whatever you are wearing. Guys, same thing. You're going to be wearing something professional. If you have a suit, that's great. You can definitely wear a tie, coat, pants. If you have, a sports coat and a tie, slacks, and appropriate wear. The minimum I would think is actually a tie. So if you want to wear a tie, collared shirt, and some sort of slacks and nice shoes, that's kind of the minimum I would go for. If you do not have anything like that, then consider borrowing it from someone, going to a thrift store. There is ways, even if you don't necessarily have the means, but there are ways to dress nicely. Borrowing is a great method, right? You can ask someone to borrow something for a little bit. So don't worry about, you want to just impress. You want to do the best you can with what you have, and just consider, options of borrowing or whatever you need. If you have something like that, great. Okay, so those are my first two tips, and you'll see in the next video a few more tips. Thanks so much.
Want to impress Academy admissions? Want to get that nomination? Then this is the workbook for you. Grab your step-by-step guide on Amazon today. Use the link below or search on Amazon for Service Academy admissions.